Have you been wondering about the effects of alcohol on your body? Maybe you've been drinking every day, or maybe you drink heavily at the weekends, or maybe you're a moderate drinker and you've just been curious about how alcohol can impact you. In this video, I wanted to share all about the effects of alcohol on the human body so you can understand what happens when we drink, when we increase our drinking, and when we find ourselves drinking every day, which is exactly what I used to do. I'm Simon Chappell, the author of the Sober Survival Guide and the book How to Quit Alcohol in 50 Days. I'm a certified sobriety coach and I'm a speaker about the joys of living alcohol free and the dangers of drinking heavily, daily, or binge drinking. I want to help people become aware of the value of living alcohol free, the joy of living alcohol free, and the dangers of drinking regularly so that they can understand that we don't lose anything when we stop drinking. And in fact, we gain so much. So let's take a look at how alcohol affects the human body. And by the way, if you enjoy the videos on my channel, hit the little red subscribe button and the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time that there's a new video. There's new videos every Tuesday and every Thursday. So make sure you get notified and you stay up to date and you never miss another one. You can also join my free quit drinking course. It's a brilliant 7-day course called 7 Days to Sobriety. There's a link right at the top now. If you click that, you can go straight through to the website and you can join right away. There's no credit card needed. You can get instant access and start learning and start moving towards reaching your goals. So let's take a look at the human body and find out more about what alcohol does. Okay, so here we have a diagram of the human body. Let's start with the top half first. Alcohol really does impact every area of the human body from tip to toe. It's actually really scary when you start looking at the impact of it. Alcohol is a poison and it damages us in so many ways, both physically and mentally. And I think by understanding the effect of alcohol on the human body, it can really motivate you to move towards an alcohol-free life. The first one, let's start with the head, is that alcohol can actually shrink the frontal lobes of your brain. And that's really scary. That can cause so many issues around memory, about cognitive functioning, and general mood and behavior changes. And alcohol can change the way we behave, not only while we're drinking, but when we're not drinking, we can be craving alcohol, and it can impact our behavior as we start to put the substance in front of the most important things in our lives. It also impacts our mental clarity to make smart and sensible decisions. When we're clear-minded and clear-headed, we can make firm, quality decisions without doing anything we regret. When we're drinking or when we've been drinking, our decision-making processes aren't as sharp and we can end up doing things that we later think that we shouldn't have done, or we really start to regret them. Alcohol can also cause blackouts. It interferes with how our brain makes memories, and we can wake up with no recollection of the night before or with vast chunks of the evening missing. That happened to me so many times. And again, it's a scary prospect. You don't know what's going on. You might look as though you're in control, but inside you're simply not there. You don't remember any of it, and that can be really scary. Some of the very heaviest drinkers can experience hallucinations when they quit, and it can be a severe withdrawal symptom. If you experience that, I highly recommend seeking medical advice straight away. And of course, dependence. Alcohol is an addictive substance. The level of dependence can vary from person to person, but if you feel that you couldn't live a life without alcohol in it, then you're probably on that spectrum of dependence. And when you're dependent on something, we tend to start putting it in front of the more important things in our lives. The substance takes preference over our relationships, our career, our health, and our well-being. And we start to do things led by the substance rather than led by what actually makes us happy. We start to falsely believe that the substance is what's making us happy. And of course, when you're drinking, you can experience slurred speech. And that's not to mention the smell of your breath and the fact that I've encountered people who are drunk who spray me with spit. They repeat themselves over and over, and they talk at 3 times the volume they need to. And they also don't listen to what people are saying to them. So there's all of those things to consider as well. It may feel like when you're in the moment that it feels good, especially if it's after the first 1 or 2 drinks and you're still experiencing the dopamine release and the euphoria. But when you actually look at yourself or you look at other people while you're sober, you realize that, yeah, I was like that. I was like that too. And it doesn't look quite so good then. Alcohol is proven to cause heart damage, and it's one of the leading causes of cardiovascular disease. And that's a huge killer. And let's make no mistake, alcohol kills many, many people every single year. And alcohol also is a huge contributor to cancer of the throat, mouth, esophagus, and breast cancer, which is common in women who drink excessively. And alcohol is renowned for causing liver damage as well. And in fact, I know somebody who suffered from severe liver damage and sadly passed away in their mid-40s. And it's a hidden killer because you don't know about it until the damage has already been done. Now, the liver is a very resilient organ and it can often repair and restore itself, but potentially with excessive drinking, it can be too late. And once that damage is done, it can be irreversible. And alcohol can also cause us issues fighting off bacteria and viruses. Our immune system isn't as strong as we might want it to be, which can cause issues around the lungs, tuberculosis, pneumonia, and other related diseases and viruses. Alcohol also can leave us with a general feeling of being tired and a lack of energy. And that can be because we don't enter the proper restorative sleep cycles when we drink alcohol. We might think we're sleeping great, but that's not the case. We don't get the proper refreshing sleep that we need. But alcohol can also cause anemia, which can be a huge complication when we have an addiction to the substance. So pay attention if you're feeling fatigued, lacking in energy, and generally devoid of motivation. And alcohol can also cause problems with the pancreas as well. And it can cause chronic pancreatitis. And that's something to watch out for. It's a leading cause of pancreatitis. So let's now look at the bottom half of the body in no particular order. So alcohol can cause issues around the stomach as well. And I often hear people who I coach with talking about gastric issues, feelings of bloating or uncomfortable stomach problems. So again, pay attention to that because alcohol can absolutely cause those sorts of issues. And it can also cause diarrhea, stomach pain, cramping sensation, none of which is pleasant. And that can happen both when you are drinking and potentially when you quit for a short period of time as well. And we all know that when somebody's pregnant, alcohol can cause problems with the birth, with the baby. It can cause defects if we drink during pregnancy. And most women are able to stop drinking while they're pregnant. And I actually think that can help us as we move into sobriety. If you know that you're able to not drink when the value on it is high enough because you were pregnant, you didn't want to impact the baby, then you just need to find that high value. If you realize how this impacts your own life and you start putting yourself first and taking care of yourself, then that should hopefully be enough to realize that you don't want to do that same damage to you as well as your baby. And alcohol can cause problems with infertility, sexual dysfunction. And of course, that's not to mention the issues that can happen while people have been drinking. They can choose inappropriate sexual partners. They can leave themselves open to sexually transmitted diseases. And there's a whole range of other implications and problems that can come through heavy drinking. Alcohol also increases the risk of osteoporosis, which is thinning bones, which means that as we get older, if we take a fall, which is more likely when we've been drinking, our bones can break easier and take much longer to repair. And alcohol also prevents the body from properly absorbing the vitamins and the minerals that we need from the foods that we eat. And we can find ourselves eating more, binge eating, reaching for sugary snacks to try and get the energy that we need. Whereas the fact is, if we didn't drink alcohol, those foods would do their job. We would be getting the nutrients we need. We'd be feeling the energy and be feeling alive and refreshed from the quality sleep that we've been having. Alcohol can change our coordination and it can interfere with our balance. And I mentioned about having a fall when you've been drinking. That is a huge contributor to it. I'm sure we've all had experiences of falling over or stumbling when we've been drinking. I certainly know that I did. Alcohol can cause complications with diabetes because it doesn't help us properly balance our sugar levels. And that can be a major factor and it can cause some severe issues around diabetes. And alcohol also can cause tingling or numbness in the hands, in the feet, the toes. And many people report this symptom to me. And often that is a signal for them to start really paying attention to their relationship with alcohol. And it can also cause muscle cramping and weakness. And eventually muscles can die, they can perish, and we can find ourselves with a huge amount of muscle loss, which is another huge implication from drinking. And I haven't even touched on things like shaking hands, which happened to me and was a really big wake-up call when I couldn't stop my hands from shaking over a period of a couple of days. And then there's the mental health issues as well. My anxiety was out of control. I was highly stressed. I wasn't able to relax, yet I falsely believed that alcohol was helping me with all of these things. So this is just a very quick overview of the main effects of alcohol on the human body. And I'm not doing it to scare you, but I want people to be aware of the huge range of effects that alcohol can have. Everything from thinning our hair, making our hair brittle and our fingernails and toenails more brittle, through to drying out the skin so that the skin doesn't have the elasticity and looks older. We've all seen people with red blotching on their face and decided that they must be a heavy drinker. That's something else that it does. And again, I haven't even gone into all of that. I've simply given you the most serious effects that alcohol can deliver when you drink regularly or heavily over a period of time. And I hope that just gives you a bit of an eye opener and allows you to really reflect on your own relationship with alcohol. And as I mentioned, if you want to come and join my 7-day free course, you're absolutely welcome to do so. Just head over to my website and you can join right away.